Hello everyone, my name's Ben, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a businessman, Lego enthusiast, Lego addict, and welcome to the ultimate show about investing in Lego, purple studs, the sets that you need to start investing in to grow your Lego portfolio. Okay, so in today's episode, we're going to be talking about Amazon and whether you should sell your retired Lego sets on Amazon or not. Okay, so before we get into this episode, just a little bit of background. If you haven't watched the last episode, my main business, my main source of income is doing Amazon selling, not so much with Lego, but just like general products. So I have quite a big Amazon store. I do 5 figures a month on that. So I'm quite clued up on Amazon selling. And so we're just going to delve into it and like the good, the bad, is it worth it, and should you start doing it? I'd love to make my living from just selling Lego, especially on Amazon, but unfortunately with Lego it's not really possible because Amazon just has the monopoly of selling Lego on Amazon. Obviously Amazon sell their own products on Amazon and Lego is one of them, and they will always beat you on price, and also you can't just price lower than Amazon and make the sales because it doesn't work the same if you're competing against Amazon as a seller as like another random small business somewhere. But there really is some real opportunity within retired Lego on Amazon, because once it's retired, Amazon can't get any more stock. That leaves the floodgates open for everyone else like myself to go in and make those sales. So it's really good because the listings are built up. So if you had search Lego, let's say you're wanting to sell this Iron Man helmet that's say just retired last week, because Amazon have just finished selling it and it's been at a good price, the ranking of it's going to be really high. So if someone's just searched Lego or Lego Marvel or whatever, that would probably still come up really high up on the search results. And the great thing about this is that you don't need to pay any advertising, you don't need to create listings or all that boring stuff that you'd have to do with something like Bricklink, eBay, sorry. So it can be really good. So yeah, we're going to get into the advantages of selling on Amazon right now. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so the advantages of selling your retired Lego sets on Amazon. Number one, you don't need to ship each product individually. So again, let's say we're selling these Iron Man helmets. So what we do is we'd collect all 10, 20, however many you want to sell in general. So you box them all up and you put a sticker on each individual one and you send them into Amazon, and then they deal with the rest. So every time one gets sold, Amazon's then responsible for delivering that one package to the customer, and you don't have to worry about it. So once you send in your stock, it's a little bit passive, unlike eBay or Bricklink or Brickow or anything like that, where you have to fulfill the orders yourself. So that's a massive advantage of Amazon. It's the time. It does take obviously a little bit of time to prep them and send them in at first, but then once that's done, you don't need to worry about shipping them out individually. Okay, so another one, number two is, as I mentioned earlier, is that you do not need to create your own listings on Amazon. There'll be a listing for this. Amazon will create all the listings for all the Lego sets that they're able to sell as soon as they have them in stock. So then when they retire, you literally hop on that listing and you can start making the sales. So again, you don't have to worry about keywords, what categories put it in, descriptions, how many pieces, all that stuff. It's all just taken care of for you. So that's really, really good. And the next one is that Amazon will generally charge you lower postage fees than you would from like Royal Mail or Hermes or anywhere like that. So obviously this can save you a bit of money on postage. And obviously with Amazon Prime, it's a free 1-day delivery for any customer has Prime. So, you know, that's always a really big incentive for people when they know that they can get it next day, which is part of the reason why people pay higher prices, which is one of my next points. So prices are generally higher than Bricklink and eBay. So I'm going to pop an example on the screen in a second, where this set was selling for twice the price nearly on Amazon as it was on eBay. Okay, so as you can see in this video here, the average sale price of this Kylo Ren Microfighter set number 75264 on eBay is about £20 including postage. I think there's one here for 25 including postage. you know, it's a pretty good price considering it was only £9 when it was originally out, and I'm sure you could probably pick it up on sale for about £7. But we'll go to Amazon now, and we can see that this same set is selling for £35 on Amazon. This means that you can sell it for an extra £15 on Amazon compared to eBay. Now the fees may be a little bit higher on Amazon, especially if you take advantage of eBay selling fee promos. But you've got to bear in mind that Amazon do most of the work for you. And as I said, generally Amazon charge less for shipping than you would be able to get yourself shipping that same item. And also another big advantage of this, Amazon shipping your products for you, is that if it was to arrive damaged to the customer, and then say the customer complained and wanted a refund, Amazon are liable for this and they should still then pay you full profits. So that's a really good advantage. Okay, so the disadvantages of selling your retired Lego sets on Amazon. Okay, so number one, as I mentioned briefly a minute ago, is that the fees are much higher generally than eBay and especially Bricklink, especially if you're using the eBay selling fees promos. So the next one is that you need to get ungated to sell Lego on Amazon. So Amazon have quite strict policies on what new sellers can sell. So what this means by getting ungated is that you'd simply need to buy 10 of one product from a wholesaler or from Lego directly, get a copy of the invoice, send it to Amazon along with the picture of the 10 items, and then they should then just approve you to sell Lego. So it can be a bit of a pain, but if you do it with some minifigures, it only costs £35, and you can still then go and sell those minifigures or whatever sets you want to buy to sell on Amazon. So it's not the end of the world, but just a little bit of hassle there. Next one is penny pinchers. So this is really bad on Amazon because obviously, like as I keep saying with this listing, everyone sells on the same listing. So you have to be able to make sales, you need to be the lowest price seller. So you know, say I list for £10, then you might go to £9.99, and I go to £9.98, and this happens a lot of Amazon. It snowballs into dropping that £10 price to £5, and it can happen really quickly. I've seen it with a lot of stuff that I've sold before, not Lego so much, but more other products, where people get really competitive and they just want to make the sale, even if it means they're losing money. So that's really something to watch out for on Amazon. If you do start doing it, I'd generally recommend hold your price strong. Next one is that it takes a lot of time to get set up on Amazon. So it's not a very straightforward process. You have to register, then you have to do a call to get approved, and as I said, you have to get ungated to sell Lego. So it does take quite a bit of time to get an Amazon account set up for yourself. And the next one's kind of intertwined with this one, is that you need to learn more about selling on Amazon than you would on something like eBay or Bricklink. There's a lot more to it, like I mentioned, things like ungating, Amazon FBA, like what's Amazon FBA, Amazon FBM. Like anyone that doesn't really know about selling on Amazon, I'm sure those terms don't really mean a lot to you. So if you want to do this, you're going to have to do a lot of work to learn how to do it properly. So the next one, the disadvantage is that you can get invoice blocked if you send in low quantities. So as I said, to get ungated, you need 10 of an item with an invoice to get ungated in that product. But what can also happen sometimes is, say you want to sell, you've been ungated in Lego and you want to sell one Infinity Gauntlet because you found it at £20 on clearance in Tesco, say. And you know you can resell it for 70, so it's really good profit. You send that one product into Amazon, Amazon can then invoice block you and be like, hang on a minute, you've only sent in one item here. We don't like people doing retail arbitrage, which is, you know, going to shops, buying things cheap and reselling them on Amazon. So we're going to ask you for an invoice so you can't sell that product. And then you've got no leg to stand on because you won't be able to get an invoice, because an invoice needs to be for at least 10 products. So that's a bit of a funny thing. So I'd always recommend that if you're going to sell on Amazon, always send in at least 10 of an item. You probably get away with the odd one or two, like I did at first, because I didn't really know about that rule. But especially once you get into selling on Amazon, don't do it, because it can also have account health damage, and you know, it could potentially, I guess, lead to your Amazon account getting shut down, so you can't sell anymore. Okay, so the final big disadvantage is that high ticket items don't really sell on Amazon. So things like UCS sets, modular buildings, because Amazon don't sell them themselves originally, they never really sell. You could probably pay for advertising and get them to sell, but you know, the problem with that is that pay-per-click advertising on Amazon isn't cheap, and you'd be selling such a small amount of units that it's probably not going to be worthwhile doing. But something to bear in mind, I've never done it, but could potentially work for you if you manage to pick up 100 modular buildings, potentially. But yeah, also with the fees on Amazon being so high, you have to sell them for a lot higher than what they should be on something like eBay. And whilst you can get away with it with a small set that usually costs £10, you know, like the microfighter in the example earlier, with a big set that you want to resell, say on eBay for £250, you probably have to sell it on Amazon closer to 300 to make that same profit. So people aren't really going to do it. So overall, there's lots of ups and downs of selling on Amazon. However, I'd still definitely recommend it. I would still do it. I know the business very well, so for me it's very, very lucrative. Like, as I said, I'm a very experienced Amazon seller, so all this kind of stuff's very worth it for me. But anyone who's actually serious about selling retired Lego, before you start selling on Amazon, you need to do at least 20 hours of homework to learn how to sell on Amazon. Probably even more than 20 hours, probably 40 hours of research, homework. How do you sell on Amazon? How do you do it right? What software do you need to do? What price graphs do you need to read? All this stuff. There's so much to it, but once you learn how to, it's so, so good. And who knows, maybe you can also make some more side cash like I do, selling other non-Lego items on Amazon once you learn how to sell on Amazon in general. So that's also worth bearing in mind. So just before this video ends, I want to give you a big example of how selling Lego on Amazon is just mental. So last year, I went to John Lewis Online actually, and they were doing a sale. So if you spent £200 or more on Lego, you got £40 off. So I'd go on and I'd buy gingerbread houses, and I got 11 gingerbread houses, one for me to keep and build, and then I got 10 to then resell onto Amazon. Now, I bought these gingerbread houses from John Lewis. I also got a voucher that I could use an extra 6% off. So with the £40 off on 200 plus an extra 6% off, I think it worked out about £65-ish, £60 per gingerbread house. And then I resold them on Amazon for £130. So from those 10 gingerbread houses, I made £250 profit. But the best thing is I didn't need to sit on them. So once I bought 10, which took me a few days because obviously I need to order some online. I got some from shops. So I got my 10 and then I sent them into Amazon, and from when I bought my first one online to when I sold my last one, it was probably 2 weeks tops. So I was sitting on that money, you know, what would have been about a £600 to £700 investment. I was down that money for 2 weeks tops. And that was the beauty of Amazon, because I sold them end of November, beginning of December. They were just selling like crazy. Once they went in stock, it was boom, gone for a couple of days, and that's it. So yeah, you know, it's really good. And this example alone should be enough to convince you to start selling your retired Lego sets on Amazon. So after hearing all this, what do you think? Let me know in the comments. Is it worth selling on Amazon or not? Right, look, if anyone's made it this far, I just want to say a massive thank you. It means an awful lot that you've stayed and watched and listened to me drone on for this whole video. But I can promise you, big things are happening on this channel right now. So you need to subscribe now so you don't miss out on this golden content I've got coming. Stay tuned.